for a story that's going to grab you. A story about faith and betrayal and a very, very long wait for justice.
28 years.
Yeah, 28 years. We're going to be diving into the murder of Sister Abhaya, a case that, as you said, took 28 years to solve. And get this, a petty thief ends up playing a key role in figuring out what happened.
Yes.
So yeah, get ready for some crazy twists and turns because, I mean, this deep dive has it all, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the things that's really fascinating about this case is the setting. Like, just picture this peaceful town in Kerala, India. It's called Kottayam, and convents, they're everywhere. And they are like a huge part of life.
Yeah.
You know, they're super respected, seen as holy, almost revered.
So it must have been like a total shock when Sister Abhaya, who's a young nun, is found dead in the convent. Well, it's St. Pius X convent, right?
I mean, it was a huge, huge deal. Yeah, like totally shook the community. They just couldn't wrap their heads around it. And the details of how she died, it just made everything even more confusing.
So give me those details. What did they find? Paint me a picture of the scene.
Okay, so it's early morning, and they discover Sister Abhaya in this well. There's an alarm clock just sitting there nearby. The fridge is wide open, water spilled everywhere, and her slippers, they're all over the place. It just felt wrong.
Like somebody tried to make it look like something it wasn't.
Yeah, it definitely didn't feel like an obvious, clear-cut situation at all.
Right.
But the thing is, the local police, they initially decided it was suicide. But the public, they weren't buying it. Like, right away, everyone was suspicious, you know, like a feeling that something wasn't right. So this action committee pops up, led by this activist named Joman Puffin Purakal.
Ooh, I read about him.
Yeah, he's a big part of why things kept moving forward.
Right.
So they start demanding a real investigation, a deeper one.
Public pressure really pushed this case along, huh?
Oh, for sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
So then the crime branch, they get the case, and after months of looking into it, what do they conclude? Suicide, same as the first time. But the public, still not convinced.
So what happens next? Does this constant public scrutiny, like, do you think it affects how investigations happen? You know what I mean?
It's a good question. Something to think about as we get more into this. So anyway, all this pressure is building, and the case finally gets handed over to the big leagues. Central Bureau of Investigation, the CBI. They start fresh. New interviews, re-examining all the evidence, hoping for a break in the case. But even they hit a dead end.
Oh, what?
For years, they're going back and forth between, was it suicide, was it murder? Never really able to say for sure who might have killed her if it was murder.
I mean, you've got years of investigations, conflicting conclusions, a whole community just wanting to know what happened. That's like a breeding ground for rumors, right? I bet everyone had a theory.
Oh yeah, for sure. It was like wildfire. Theories everywhere, people talking about cover-ups, powerful people being involved, you know, like just fueling the fire. And the public, they're left in limbo, no answers, and just getting more and more frustrated.
So the longer it went on, the more messy and tangled it got. Like trying to put together a puzzle, but the pieces keep changing.
Exactly. And then it's like straight out of a book. Enter this petty thief, Adhikar Raju, and his testimony. It flips the whole investigation on its head. You won't believe this.
Okay, a petty thief, huh? Gotta tell me more. What did he know? And how did he even get mixed up in this whole thing?
Well, Raju claimed that the night Sister Abhaya died, he saw not one, not two, but three people at the convent. We're talking Father Thomas Couture, another priest named Father Jose Putrikail, and a nun, Sister Safi. Imagine that.
Okay, hold on. Now it's not just maybe a suicide. Now we're talking maybe multiple people involved, including people from the church. Wow. You said he was a petty thief? Like, what would make a guy like that come forward, knowing he'd be in the spotlight in a case like this? It's a big deal.
It's a great question, but